I wish we could stay out here forever.
I know. Pretty amazing things have happened here, haven't they?
Yeah. I'd say our first meeting here was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And tonight, it doesn't get any more amazing than this. Sure is dark out.
Yeah, sure is. Did you hear that?
What?
That noise. It was some
What? What? Is it some kind of animal? What?
No. It definitely is not human, though.
Okay. I think it's time to go.
Or we could stay here and I could protect you and hold you close to me and, you know. Oh, hey.
Just for that, I am going to leave, and you can
I
stay
don't
out here all by
think
yourself.
so.
Yeah? What are you gonna do to stop me?
Oh, yeah, can you hear me? I'm right here. I'm gonna make sure that you get everything you need. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
Now get some rest.
How's she doing?
There's no change.
Well, I got the latest labs for you.
It's about time.
We're still waiting on some more tests, but at least these will give us a little bit of hope.
They look pretty inconclusive to me.
They could be worse.
She's so weak.
Maybe it's just what she's been through. The trauma, you know, instead of something more serious. Not that this isn't serious. Anyway, I told the lab to put a rush on those tests.
Good. Gotta figure out how to help her.
Mrs. Thornhart?
Who are you?
Stan Burns, reporter from World News. I have a few questions about your brother.
What?
Do you know how he fell to his death? Who's responsible?
I am just as anxious as you are to find out what's in those tests.
I don't know anything.
Look,
Please leave me alone.
tell me one thing about what happened. Hey,
What are you doing here?
hey, I'm a reporter just getting the story. Listen, if you... Hey, give me that.
Let me get this straight. General Hospital is being held liable for Ben Shapur's death?
Mr. Shapur's family is suing you for every penny you're worth. And they have their country's government behind them.
Well, they're going to have a hard time proving that.
They're prepared to take this to the Supreme Court, the United Nations if necessary.
The United Nations?
The Shapurs are a very powerful, very important family, and they are saying that Dr. Collins caused the death of their son. One more thing. The United States government isn't very happy about this mess either.
Why do I get the feeling this isn't good news? I don't know how I got past this.
See, it doesn't happen again. He's gone.
Why are they asking about Ben?
I hadn't have to worry about that right now.
Ian, what are you not telling me? If Ben's death was an accident...
Shh. Ariana, it was an accident. Now, you don't need to be worrying about any stupid reporters, okay?
Just focus on regaining her strength.
Ian's right. I'm gonna give you something to help you relax. It's what you need right now.
I'll see you when you wake up, okay?
Oh, boy. It's a good thing you're not a surgeon, the way you've been punching out walls and reporters and tape recorders.
You had it coming.
Look, we're both a little overloaded right now, so maybe you should go home.
I'm fine.
Ian?
I said I'm fine. Besides, someone's got to keep an eye on her. When did this become a story anyway?
Actually, this place is crawling with press, but you haven't noticed because you've been in here.
Well, I'll make sure no one else gets in here. Colleen.
Hey.
Hi, excuse me.
Ian.
Can I ask you a favor?
Sure, what can I do for you?
I need you to stay with Ariana until I can arrange for 24-hour security.
Of course.
Thank you.
Ian, I'm worried about you.
Don't be worried
Every
about
time
me.
I see you, you are more and more on edge. You haven't had any sleep
I'm
at
trying to
all.
get things done here.
Let me arrange for 24-hour protection for Ariana. You need to get away from this place for a
Eve,
while. No, please. You are an accident waiting to happen. Go home.
I can't. I can't.
Wait a minute. The State Department sent an official to inform you that Ben Shapoor's family is suing over his death.
This thing has international incident written all over it with GH right in the middle.
Well, how is the hospital responsible?
Because you're on the payroll.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Just tell me, how did you arrive at the decision to hospitalize Shapoor against his will?
Because he tried to kill his sister.
Tell me from the beginning.
Well, I've been treating his sister, Ariana. Been trying to contact her for several days. She hadn't returned any of my calls, so I went to her home to try and find her there.
And that's where you found Ben?
He was in the room. He was holding the knife. He dropped it and left his fingerprints all over it. When he ran out, I realized she'd been stabbed several times. It was obvious that he'd done it, Alan.
His family claims that you're lying
Why would I lie?
to justify committing him to the psych ward.
Well, that's ridiculous.
The lawsuit claims that you are solely responsible for his death.
He's not responsible, I am.
Dr. Marager to obstetrics. Dr. Randy Marager to obstetrics.
Hey.
Are you okay?
Yeah, just a little too much caffeine this late at night.
Look, I may be fried myself right now, but I know when you're upset.
I'm not upset. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm upset. You just have a lot going on, and I don't
Yeah,
wanna...
exactly, which is exactly why I would like to listen to somebody else's problems for a change, so spill.
Frank spends all his time in the garage emailing some messed up teenage girl on an old computer that isn't capable of emailing but does anyway. And meanwhile, my mom shows me a picture of my Aunt Caroline, who died almost 30 years ago. She looks like my identical twin. And when I go and talk to Frank about how weird this makes me feel, he can't take his eyes off the computer long enough to hear me, so I killed the computer.
You killed the computer?
Dead. Think I overreacted?
I think you need to switch to decaf.
So, friend, got any advice?
As a matter of fact, I do. Follow me.
Thank God.
Listen, you and Frank seem to have something really good going. Don't sweat the small stuff.
You're right. I know you're right.
Trust me, things could be a lot worse.
Yeah. How is she?
Ariana is just barely holding on.
Labs come back?
Some, but not all of them. We're still waiting.
Well, how are you and Ian holding up?
Well, I seem to be, I don't know, hanging on, but Ian...
Those test results you were waiting for?
Finally.
You're welcome.
I hope this sheds some light on things. What is it?
Ariana's liver. It's failing.
Not bad.
Damaged beyond repair. If she doesn't get a transplant, she'll die.
I wouldn't have been so freaked if Allison hadn't told me that creepy story.
What story?
About something that happened a long time ago, not too far from here.
Don't tell me it's one of those urban legends.
Hey, she swears that this was totally real.
Oh, in that case, I'm sure it's true then.
Hey, you want to hear this or not?
All right, I'm all ears.
Well, it seems that there is this one-armed man known as the Hook Man.
Look, okay, it's real original, but hey.
Hey, you better stop joking, because this crazy guy would come into the woods and spy on lovers and watch them and then kill them with his hook.
Well, did they ever catch Hookman?
No, because suddenly one day the killings just stopped.
Well, maybe the dude died or something.
Yeah, that's what people figured. So a few years later, kids started coming up here again, like us tonight.
Well, if Hookman bit it, then there's nothing really to be nervous about, right?
Wrong. Listen, so not too long ago, this guy brought his girlfriend up here, and just when they were about to, mess around, the girl heard this weird scratching noise, like, ee, on the side of her car.
Probably the wind blowing in the trees.
Yeah, of course, that's what the guy said, too. But only this girl was totally freaking out, and she said that she knew it was the Hook Man, and she insisted that he drive her home.
Oh, so he did, and nothing happened, right?
Hardly. So they argued the whole entire way home, and the boy was saying that she was just paranoid, or...
About all the crazy stories she heard.
Yeah, so, the guy gets to her house, and then he gets out of the car, and he goes around, and he goes to open the door, and guess what they find in the handle?
I give up.
A hook. Mm-hmm. The scratching sound they heard was Hookman trying to get into the car. Pretty creepy, huh?
Yeah. Well, I guess I better protect you then, huh?
I don't know. I don't think anything's happened in a really long time. And come on, he did lose his hook. How you gonna kill him?
Yeah, I get it. Well, let me tell you one I heard when I was a kid.
Hey, let's not talk about any more scary stories.
All right. I'll change the subject, but you started it.
No, you started
okay, I
it.
said I'll change the subject.
Good.
Good.
So, what do you want to talk about?
How about how beautiful you are? And how much I love you.
Jack.
And how you're the only person who has ever heard me say that.
A transplant in Ariana's condition, it's a long shot at best, even if we did find a match.
I know. She is very weak.
Her body would never survive the post-surgery trauma.
There's got to be something we can do. Something we can do to make her stronger so that she'll be able to accept the donor liver.
Maybe there is.
What do you mean you're responsible for Shapur's...
Alan, he's not responsible.
I'm trying to protect me.
Look, he's in no condition to do this now. He
will you
hasn't
listen
slept
to me?
all night.
I intend to. I want to hear from Kevin first, and it better be the truth.
The truth is that Ben Shapur was responsible for his own death. And he was trying to kill his sister. An honor killing, they call it, because she'd been raped.
I know that. I read it in the reports.
Well, the point is, I saw him with my own eyes. He had the knife. It fell out of his hand. He left his prints all over it. And still the police wouldn't arrest him.
Because of his diplomatic immunity.
So what else was I supposed to do except have him hospitalized? And given the fact that he was clearly a danger to others, I was well within my rights.
Well, there are those who would disagree with you.
Well, he would have been entitled to a hearing within 72 hours. Instead, he chose to knock out an orderly, go up to the roof of the building, and he fell off. It's unfortunate. I'm sorry for that. But I have never doubted for a second that I did the right thing. And I'd do it again.
Kevin, I have the utmost respect for your ethics, but you have to realize it's me that has to deal with his government, our government, the international press.
Well, then maybe you should listen to the whole story.
Well, what are you saying now, that he's lying?
What I'm saying is that he's trying to protect people who he thinks have suffered enough. But I was on the roof with Ben.
Why?
Because I wanted to kill him.
To soaps and the people who love them. SoapNet's got same-day episodes.
I'd realized that I hadn't told my mom that I love her. So when I ran back in, I said, love you, Mom. I love you. But it was too late. She didn't hear me say it.
She heard you, Jack. Even if she didn't hear you, she still knew.
That's why I didn't want to wait to tell you. I wanted to make sure you know. I love you.
I love you too, Jack.
At the course I went to in Tennessee, they were testing this new drug on potential transplant patients. It was a cell stimulator, and it helped prepare the body for the new organ.
Well, how did it test out?
Pretty promising. But so far, they've only tested it on children in very small amounts. And obviously, Ariana's going to need a larger amount, and there's no telling how her system's going to react.
But still, that's a better chance than anything she has now.
Well, I have some research in the on-call room.
Let's go.
Next thing I knew, the fence gave way and Donnie went.
Do you have any idea the mess that I've got on my hands because you decided to handle the situation with Ben on your own?
He called me and told me to meet him on the roof.
Why didn't you pick up the phone and call the police, or at the very least, hospital security?
Yeah, maybe I should have done that.
Maybe? If you had, the SOB would still be alive. We would not have an international incident on our hand with the threat of lawsuits, the threats of revoking medical licenses, and me up to my ears in paperwork.
Alan, you can see that Ian was only trying to...
Don't tell me what Ian was trying to do. If you had picked up a telephone and called the legal department before hospitalizing Shapur, none of us would have any grief.
I didn't think it was necessary.
And the next time that I ask you to tell me the truth, I want all of it. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I want you both to listen and listen well. I'm going to stand by you, Kevin. I think you did the right thing in hospitalizing Shapur. But insofar as this conversation goes, not a word goes outside this door. You understand? Kevin's report will stand as it was filed. Shapur's death was an accident.
It was an accident.
I know that you tried to save him. But if you had followed procedure, none of this would have happened.
Maybe I should talk to the state
You're
officials.
not going to say anything to anybody. Do you understand me? The Shapur family are a big deal in their own country, and they're going to be watching us like hawks. And that includes your treatment of Ariana. Despite your personal involvement, you will do everything by the book, 100% professionally.
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some personal matters to attend to.
Alan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate what you did. But I never meant for you to take the heat for it.
Yeah, well, I'll be okay. Let's just hope Ariana will be.
I'll take care of it.
Ian, wait, don't go in yet.
Why not?
I think I may have found a way to save Ariana. And maybe us too.
Stay tuned for scenes from the next Port Charles. Time in a Bottle.
Charles.
Oh, gosh. Allison. So I guess this means you guys are talking now, huh?
If I give her the drug and she dies, everyone's happy.
You think that I want Ariana dead, don't you?
The residents of Pine Valley always seem to be getting into trouble. Find out what they've stumbled into this time with All My Children, coming up next on SoapNet. Soap watching made easy.